Okay, so welcome to your next lesson, understanding your inactive customers. In this lesson, you're going to learn to identify, segment, and reactivate dormant customers. And we're going to explore why audience segmentation matters and how to personalize messages for different inactive groups. And on our snapshot, you could even duplicate it and change some of the messaging for your particular offer. So, why does audience segmentation matter? Well, let's go through this. Tailored messages resonate better with specific inactive customer groups. So, as an example, let's say that you were a customer of Consolidator or a lead of Consolidator. We have multiple features. Maybe you were interested in our Google My Business rank tracking because your agency does Google My Business stuff. If I start blasting you with voice bot stuff, while it might still be effective because it's a crossover audience, it might not be as effective as if I come at you with a new offer for our GMB stuff, because now I'm speaking directly to your heart. If you were a pet shop and you start hitting people up with cat food stuff, it's probably not going to work out for you. Okay. The next reason is because segmentation helps address unique reasons why they've become inactive. So let's say that you were a chiropractor and somebody, you have a few different groups. Somebody came in and they did the initial consultation and you pitched them on a $2,500 offer. They couldn't afford that. They couldn't bite the bullet on that. And so they've gone inactive. So now we have one who they couldn't afford the service. But maybe someone else comes in and they are very, very busy. And so because of that, they can only come between 7 and 8 a.m. in the morning. So theirs has to do with the schedule. So these are two completely different objections that they came out that they had. You would want to notate what these objections are if you can. And if you don't have this information, it's okay. You can put them into a generic campaign. But if you have that, then you can personalize the objections a little bit to help overcome it. So the thing that we're trying to do is avoid just putting them all in a big blanketed campaign, because segmentation prevents sending one size fits all reactivation campaigns. Keep in mind, one size fits all reactivation campaigns can work, but at a lower percentage. So if you're trying to optimize your campaign for the highest conversion, segmentation is going to help. So let's identify these customers and leads. So in your CRM, you want to be able to track the last point of engagement or that you had with a customer or lead. And you can typically do that. Like if you're using Go Level, you can see the activity bar on the left-hand side to see how things have gone with them. Now, if you want, you can also go to your list and you can, using your smart contacts, you can filter based off last activity. So that's something that you can do. Identify users who haven't opened or clicked emails recently. It means that they are not as engaged as you would like them to be. We need to get them engaged. You speak to people who are engaging differently. And I'll give you this example. Imagine that you're fishing and the fish comes by, and at first he just kind of sniffs the bait. He's bouncing back and forth from it, just sort of sniffing it. I don't know if they have nostrils, but you know how they'll kind of tug on it? I don't think they have nostrils. That'd be weird. You can't, I don't know. I'm an idiot. Anyway, the point is, they're just kind of scenting around it. And then they nib at it just to see if this is dangerous. Did I say nipple? I might have said nipple. They nib at it just to see if it's dangerous. And then finally they go after it. What I used to do is send an email blast, and then I'd say, okay, these people open. I'd tag them as open. These people didn't open. And I would start getting a little bit more aggressive to the ones opening it, adding more and more urgency. Adding urgency to people who haven't even opened it doesn't do you any good, because then when they do open it, you're just slapping them in the face with urgency. So you want to try to segment this as you're doing your campaigns. What you'll find is that the way we do this is our workflow has, we're trying to get a hold of you. Then once they respond, our AI bot knows what to do from there, takes over and just starts talking to them, trying to get them to book an appointment, re-engage. That makes it real easy, because then we just remove them from that workflow, and now we've just segmented them to people who haven't responded, people who are actively talking to us. For purchase behavior, look for customers who haven't made a purchase within typical repeat cycles. Like, for instance, if you are a chiropractor and you know that this person's supposed to be coming in every 2 weeks or every week or something like that, and they've gone dormant for a while, reach out to them. Hey, we noticed that it's been a couple weeks since your last visit. Keeping your body and your bone structure in shape is a lot like braces. If you quit wearing your retainers, things just start going back to the way they were. We'd love to help you maintain the progress that you've already got, stuff like that. So here's why customers go dormant. One is timing. So they might not need your product or service in that moment. And you can just kind of put them into these buckets. Timing. This is pretty obvious. Let's just say that you were, it's winter and you're selling flip-flops. Bad timing. It just doesn't work. Number two, competition. They might have found an alternative solution or your competitor. And we find this, like, for instance, somebody might sign up for our Consolidator, or at least for a demo, and then they didn't show. And then we see them in a group and they're using a competitor. Somebody got to them before we could. That can happen. So then you got to change your messaging to try to win them back. Price sensitivity. They might think that your price is just too high. And actually, they might think it's even too low, we found. And that you might say, how could it be too low? They don't think that the solution can actually solve their problem because it's too cheap. They're like, they can't solve my problem for that much. It's just not real. It's impossible. And then their belief system goes up. So too high, or it can be too low, or they just had a bad customer experience. And because of that, and I know we all want to think we give the best customer experience, and we just have to face the fact we don't. Even at Consolidated, we know, hey, we have growing pains. There's times where something slips through the cracks. We're trying our hardest. That's just how it is. So segmenting your inactive audience. We're going to segment them this way. We're going to have groups of customers by duration of inactivity, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Then you have purchase behavior, segment based off purchase history and frequency, if that fits your business model. And then engagement type, consider their last interaction with your company. And one thing you can do is just when somebody clicks on a link or opens something, you can just add a tag or something like that. So that way you can see that something has existed. I want to go over the time of inactivity. The workflow that we're going to provide for you might fit for all of them for your business. It might just not be that big of a deal. But you may duplicate that workflow 2-3 times and change the messaging a little bit in it based on how long it's been. Like, for instance, if you're a loan officer and there's a specific program or a specific rate, that is time sensitive. Those things change. So then you would want to change up your audience accordingly. Creating buyer personas for dormant customers can be really helpful because then you're going to know how to go after them. You'll be able to know if this is somebody who's a bargain hunter, so they're just waiting for a discount to re-engage. We have that. We have people who don't buy a thing from me, and then Black Friday comes and they buy everything I have. You have the busy professional. So these are people that love the product, but they just don't have time to engage. Our messaging for them is going to probably have a lot of bonuses with our done-for-you offers. And then the dissatisfied customer. They had a negative experience. They didn't voice a concern. One thing you can do to re-engage these kinds of people is tell them that we would love to earn your business back. We understand that you did not have a great experience. We apologize. We want to earn your business back. So here's this example of audience segmentation here, and you could do these through tags. Segment A, you could say they've had 3 purchases and inactive for 6 months. Segment B, one-time seasonal buyers, or segment C, email subscribers, no purchases. So you could break it up into like 3 groups, 4 groups. It doesn't matter. I like doing it in 3 because otherwise it gets complicated, and it's basically breaking it down, and they can change. This is just an example. Like segment A could be people who make multiple purchases a year from you and they're an active customer that or they were an active customer but you just haven't seen a purchase from them in X amount of time. Segment B could be that they've only ever made 1 purchase. Segment C could be they've never bought anything from you. They're just on your email list. So here's how you can segment them. You identify their inactivity duration. How long have they been inactive? If you're not tracking that, it's going to make it harder for you to be able to really pinpoint how direct and aggressive you can be. Because if someone just missed an appointment, you can talk to them a little different. But if 6 months goes by and then you're like, hey, we saw you missed your appointment. Would you like to reschedule? They'd be like, that was 6 months ago. Like, let's change the tune a little bit. Let's change the copy. If they're not interacting with your brand, maybe they've totally lost the connection. Maybe they no longer have the need, but it's still good to figure out who they are, and why they left. Because here's the thing, numbers are numbers. And if you know you can email blast 1,000 cold people and get 2% to respond, imagine just blasting out a reactivation campaign to 1,000 people who are semi-warm. You should be able to get a percentage, because that's really what we're playing here, is the numbers. So let's just do a little recap here. Using our CRM and other marketing tools, we're going to identify our dormant customers. A lot of you guys are going to be using GHL, and you can do that, like looking up the last activity, go to smart contacts and do your filtering. Understanding inactivity, so common reasons for why they're going dormant. Segmenting your audience, so grouping dormant audience based off their behavior and history. Then creating personas, so using a buyer persona to understand your audience better. If you can create these, then imagine doing this. Imagine taking a tag and saying, okay, I'm going to say I want to take the people that are 30 days old who they went dormant because of price. Now you can craft really personalized campaigns to them. So let's go ahead and talk about crafting the perfect reactivation message. And then I'll show you how we put this into a sequence.